Greetings, Sanbonani, and welcome back to yet another amazing episode of The Future. And of course, I am your host, Dunotano, the creative, holding it down till the mic drops. Today, we are here at Richards Bay, Mirancia, at Lamessa Beauty and Spa. And of course, I'm here because, my nail appointment is due. I'm joking. We're here to speak to Lamessa, who's the owner of this beautiful establishment. How did she get to this level? So please do join me as we embark on this amazing journey. Greetings if you've just joined us. This is an amazing show called The Future. Like I said before, we're sitting with Lamessa, who is the owner of this beautiful establishment. Hello.
Hi, Natando.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you very much.
I'm great. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your beautiful space. It's such an honor. You look so pretty.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, maybe before we kickstart the show, what can you say to our audience today that can motivate them to continue watching this amazing episode?
Oh, well, I like the name of the show, just to start with, The Future. It means we are talking about topics that are going to motivate people in terms of what steps and what actions to take to better themselves in terms of making sure they achieve their dreams. If you're an entrepreneur, you would want to stay tuned in because we're going to be talking challenges. We're talking about what the next big thing is. So stay tuned for that.
I think that's really amazing. Maybe can you just kindly define to us what is it that you do, the business that you have, what it entails?
Okay, the business that we do is a beauty bar. So it's actually it's a one-stop shop.
Okay.
We want everything just under one roof. It's for your busy woman who doesn't have time to move from one place to the next place. So you just want to make sure that if you're doing your lashes, you do them in one place. If you're doing your hair, you do it in one place. So you make sure that everything is just found in one place. That's what we offer in this place.
Okay, I know we're still going to get into the details and the gist of what exactly you do, but maybe kindly briefly tell us about yourself, your upbringing, just a bit about your background.
Okay, upbringing, fond memories already just hitting my mind. I was brought up in the Eastern Cape. I'm Xhosa born, to speak.
Yeah.
But my father is originally from the Eastern Cape. I was raised by my grandparents, including my mother, but I think my grandparents shaped the earlier parts of my development because I spent between the ages of 7 up until 11 years with them. And they are the ones, my grandfather in particular is the one who was an entrepreneur. So I think that somehow shaped my thinking towards the direction that I later on took in life.
Maybe I see you talked about your grandparents. How is your relationship now with them? Are they still with you?
Unfortunately, they couldn't see this part of the journey. They passed away between 2014 and my grandfather in 2016. So they're no longer with us. But obviously their memories live on.
Yeah.
I think that's the most impact that you can leave in people's lives, that when you're gone, there's something left that they can hold on to. So it's a memory, it's a wise woodshed, it's all of those things that are intangible, but they last forever.
Maybe what is one thing that people don't know about you, especially when it comes to your personality?
Personality wise, most of my friends think I'm just always bubbly and just always loud. But I have private moments. I've got times where I'm like, cut. It's time to just give to myself. At that time, you won't find me on my phone. You won't find me answering any messages because it's time to just recharge. So I can be an introverted person that wants to switch off from the world, even though it looks like I can be very extroverted, but I guess I'm just, a bit of both.
Okay, speaking about family, and I know that you've also shared a bit about your background. When last did you go home? Do you even remember going back to the Eastern Cape, or you just like, no, I'm staying here?
But you should ask that. I actually go home quite often. I think like 4 times a year. So the last time I was home was like in December. So obviously it's the big Christmas time. The whole family's here because we are all spread around South Africa. Some are in Port Elizabeth, some are in Joburg, some in Cape Town. So this is the one time that everybody gets together. So we make sure that we respect that Christmas time.
I think you have a really beautiful and wonderful family and a story to share. Maybe what are your greatest achievements in your career so far?
Oh, well, talking about careers, I think one interesting part of me is that I wasn't necessarily, I did not start my career in the beauty industry. I have a mining background. So my profession is that of a geologist and an environmentalist. I still do part of that work. So I do consulting work. I have a company that does consulting for that kind of work. And so when you talk about career, because this career part has always been there, but it officially started last year. So my career highlights for the 1 year that we've been in business, because we are celebrating a year in March that we've been in business, the beauty industry business. But I think my proudest achievement has been being nominated, I think, for Best Ivy Drip Bar in Zululand, which is quite a thing for us because we are new in the business, and just that recognition was for us enough to say you are probably doing something correct.
Before we head to an ad break, how do you balance the two? Because you mentioned that you was in the mining business as well as also this beauty business. How do you manage and balance the two?
I guess it's about putting systems in place, because obviously the one part of the business, which is the beauty part of the business, I have beautiful employees who are very efficient at what they do. So once those systems are running and are in place, then the business is really able to take care of itself. And then I'm then able to free up my time to do the part where I have to do the intellectual reports that require me to sit down and focus. So I've learned that it's about having systems that work, that are in place, which will allow you to actually say you are self-employed. I think most people get into entrepreneurship because they actually have a dream of having the ability to manage their time and be able to operate at their own space and time that allows them to live their life fully, right? But without proper systems being put in place for you to run a business, you almost go back to being employed because you don't necessarily have the freedom then to maneuver. But once you have systems in place, then you are able to free up your time to be able to chase your other dreams and visions that you have for your life. So I think that's what I've been trying to build for the past year. Systems in place, and then be able to chase. We chasers, guys. Like they say hustling. There's a reason why they call it hustling. It's hustling because it's just a constant thing. It's never. It never stops. It just continues to roll.
And I think you're doing really well at that. All right, Tumbugeni, when we come back, we're going to get into the business side of things. So do stay tuned in. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you are in the second segment of this amazing show. We're still here with Lamessa. Maybe let's get into the business side of things. Maybe tell us why or when was the beauty bar established, and maybe why did you choose to enter the beauty industry?
Okay, maybe just to start from the beginning. I think the name Lamessa was conceived probably 2012. It was conceived a long time ago, but it was something that I played with when I was still a child. Motivated by Harper Productions. I always liked opera somehow. And because I liked opera a lot, I was fascinated when I discovered that Harper actually comes from opera. So I was like, oh, that is quite smart. Like, can I play with my own name and see what could actually come out? So the idea was born when I was still really young. And then obviously the older I got, the more I was like, okay, it's time for me to start with this. So I think I opened my first page called Lamessa Creations back in 2015, 2016, somewhere there. But that the idea behind that at that time was clothing.
Yeah.
Because I have a natural gift of being able to make clothes somehow. I've never went to a design school, but I can just see like a two-piece. I'm like, okay, if you put this piece together and cut there, this is going to come together and it's going to make sense. So I built that page at that time for the purposes of advertising the clothing that I was creating at that time. And fast forward, I then was involved in the trucking business. So Lamessa was still somewhere there. You know? So Lamessa has always been like a name that is going to be an umbrella for a lot of things. You understand? And then the beauty industry. It has always been something that's natural for me. I've always been like a girly girl. Even when I was in the mining industry, we sort of spaghetti like karapa, like your boots, uniform. But I would always try and make sure my hair is on point, my lipstick on point. I'll be sweating, I'll be in the dunes and looking all kinds of ways, and I'd still be, just that person who likes looking good, And even growing up, I liked doing that for my family. I liked doing that for my mother. I liked doing that for my grandma. So they knew that if Sam is home, probably our hair is going to get done, our nails are going to get done. Because I think the influence behind the thinking is we always think of beauty coming from the inside to the outside. But what this industry actually allows, which I think most people don't appreciate, is that it allows beauty to come from the outside to the inside. You check when you've just done your hair, you've done your nails. And you think,
feel some type of way.
I'm a princess, baby, And then you somehow level up inside of yourself with the feeling that you are getting from the outside. So for me, it's always amazing how you look can have an influence on how you feel. And we are, I think, in a generation that is focusing on mental health right now. And we're thinking if we want people to not be depressed, because obviously research has proved that a lot of people are feeling generally depressed, you understand? So if we can contribute something to a person's feeling in terms of levels of depression, true beauty coming from the outside to the inside, then why not do that? It was just one of those things. And then even better than if you now think about the ivory drip portion. So the ivory drip portion then obviously now starts influencing you from the inside, because now you are taking nutrients that are going to make you even more healthier and be able to live longer. Plus, that's for no goga. Like everybody else was like lalela. Everybody's like, no, I don't want to grow old. So if you can offer an opportunity in innovative ways to say, stay as young as you are, stay 25, wouldn't you take it? I'm sure everybody would. So I think there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot there happening in the beauty industry that we take for granted.
I think that's really beautiful. Maybe when you initially started, like, who is your target market? Who do you want to see coming in your beauty bar? Do you have like specific people, or does it just cater for everyone?
The lovely part about it, I think when I initially started with the business, the idea was mostly females, and it was mostly, I think it was young, your middle-aged people, I thought they would be the one who would be most interested. But lo and behold, I forgot that men are actually, like we talk about modern men right now. We talk about men who take care of themselves. We talk about madoda above and shine. We talk about madoda who want to have a spa treatment. Spas before were traditionally an area most females were interested in, but right now, like, we wanna pamper obaba, you understand? And also what I have seen, which has been quite interesting, is the number of grannies coming in, looking to have an immune boost, an anti-aging drip. Oh, something of the sort, and they would come and they'll be like, "Kaloku umntanam ndiyazithanda," you know? So they have been like one of those beautiful moments, you know, where you're like, oh wow, actually we should do more to accommodate what they would require from the markets, you understand, and not just think about your middle-aged people. So right now, you ask me that question again, who's my target markets? That's people who are health conscious. It's people who care about how they look, how they present themselves. It's people who care about their well-being. You understand? So it's your males, it's your females, it's your young ones, it's your old ones. So it's just people who care about themselves.
That's really amazing. I like the fact that even your old age people are coming in and they're really self-conscious, and I think it's a beautiful space for them to be able to be free as well and be pampered and bring in that inner child within them as well.
Of course, yes.
Okay, maybe looking at your beautiful spaces, how many employees do you have?
Right now I have 10 employees in total. Some come on call. That's what I call them. They are on my on-call people, because there are specific treatments that we do that require you to have an appointment. So I found in these challenging economic times, it is quite taxing to ask an employee to come in, or whether there's a need that particular day or not, because sometimes you just know that there's nobody who's going to come in today.
Maybe could you elaborate on the services that you render, the different services that you render here?
We do drip, which is the infusion of your vitamins, your nutrients into your system to achieve a personal goal that you may have as a person. Maybe you don't want to necessarily grow and look older. We offer those vitamins for you. Maybe you're a person whose libido needs a boost and you need a little bit of happiness in the bedroom. We combine a concoction of vitamins just for you to be able to get that particular need out of the way. We also offer massages. We do massages for those who feel they need pampering. They need to, just take a little bit of a breather. We also do, obviously, your nails, facials. We do hair as well, installation, braids. We do all of those things.
Earlier you mentioned that it's a one-stop shop. It really is, because with all the things that you've counted here, a person can come in different and come out a new person, new hairstyle, nails, well relaxed, glowing. So everything, Jay, is infused in this amazing space. Maybe what are your company goals? What are you looking forward to as well?
Oh, well, company goals are always about money, Notando. What are you talking about? I would think that's obvious. Well, company goals. I think long term, obviously, it's always about expansion. Once you found your formula, and then you want to try and extend your services to other areas, and try and make sure you offer it, to as many people as you possibly can, so that they can be easy access. I think drip has been one of those things that has come up as a need in terms of now wellness, So being able to bring it closer to people is something that we would love to do and would love to achieve, right? And I think we are looking forward to, as a company, one of our goals is the integration of artificial intelligence into some of our work. I think there's been something that I found quite interesting, which is it's like a vein finder. One of the harsher parts of drip is when you have to find a vein, and some people obviously struggle with this because their veins are quite small, right? So then it becomes a bit of a struggle. But with that technology, then it's not a struggle anymore. You have a smoother experience because the vein finder will find it for you, and therefore you're not going to be poking everywhere to try and find this particular vein. So I think it's about growth, and it's about being innovative, as a company. It's about upskilling our people so that they can be the best they can be in the services that they provide. So I think, those are the key goals that we have.
All right, Mbugeli, when we come back, we're going to get into the future plans of this amazing establishment. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, this is the last segment of this amazing show. Still here with Usamela. Is still good?
I'm still good. Thank you very much. Enjoying myself quite.
Maybe compared to how you started and now, are you happy about the way you are running this business?
A very difficult question.
Mm.
I don't think any entrepreneur is ever really ever happy because of that continuous improvement that we're talking about. But as I have said, that I think for me, we are in a place right now where we are comfortable with how things are running. We are at least feeling like, okay, we are driving this bus. Because obviously when you start, it feels like it's just pulling you, You're like, oh, going that way, but yeah. So I am happy.
Okay, in your business, do you have like community projects or things that you do that give back to the community?
At this point in time, we haven't started that phase of Lamessa. It is something that has always been part of the inception of Lamessa, that eventually we would love to contribute in building a community, especially empowering a girl child, you understand? But what I have done right now, which is a contribution to developing the entrepreneurship spirit, is there's portions of the business that I've realized that I can give an opportunity to young upcoming hairstylists to be able to run something of their own, to be able to exercise that entrepreneurship part of themselves. So that has been something that I've been able to do, because then that gives people the ability to work on something on their own, work for their own money, take the money, learn the responsibility of running a business. And I think right now, with the employment rate being the way that it is, I could never take away the contribution that employing people has to the community, to be able to give somebody an opportunity to take bread home is something that I also cherish.
Are there any like important lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Sure, there's so many. There's so many. But I think first off, I would say to a person who is new in the entrepreneurship journey, especially in your first year, be disciplined about your spending. Be very disciplined about your spending. The tendency is that when you come from an environment where you were previously employed, like myself, is to continuously live the same lifestyle we're living prior to declaring your independence. You understand? But then if you do that, your cash flow is going to go completely different. So rather cut all the expenses that you do not need, like live with the bare minimum, until you have absolutely made it. Then start spending your money afterwards. But I think for the first year, 2 years, discipline financially is a requirement. And also financial education, be very financially savvy. We take it for granted that it's just me, I'm buying a sweet and you give me 10 rand and me, I give you 5 rand and that's it. No, the business side of the business that makes it work, the engine that runs it, is the finance, And I think people have a very small understanding what finance is. I myself learned that it's the financial world has its own jargons that I have no knowledge how they operate. So be disciplined with your finances. Make sure you understand how finance works, how money works in the business, how to make it grow, how to make it stay, how to keep it coming. You understand? So for me that.
Before we close it off, what is the impact that you want to have, or the legacy that you want to leave one day?
The impact I want to have, actually, I think, for me, it's always been about empowering females. You know, we've come a long way from I think when Oprah first entered our television sets. You know, when women empowerment was just a thing that you were like, what are we talking about? I am very passionate about females understanding their role, understanding their power, and being able to take up their places and understand that they are much more powerful than they perceive themselves to be. And if you were to look at society, I always say this, if you look at homes that don't have mothers versus homes that are led by mothers, you see automatically what your contribution is to with safeguarding the family, safeguarding the community, being able to put food on the table, being able to protect your loved ones. You understand? Yeah. If you take that power on itself, as simply as it looks, and you expand it and say, what then can I do for the world if this is what I can do? You understand? So I would love to leave a legacy whereby I have demonstrated that for another female, to say, that's a demonstration of what I, as a female, can be able to achieve. Because I also say I stand on the giants, on the shoulders of giants, of females that have walked before me, because they say, look, girl child, it's possible.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's really beautiful. And thank you also for welcoming us into this beautiful space. Such a privilege and an honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we've come to the end of this amazing episode. And one thing we learned today is that in business, don't limit yourself. You can do it all. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. And another thing, it's important to be financially educated, especially if it's your first time doing business, whatever business that you're doing. From me to you, let's end it here. But don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and of course, hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we post new content. It's Vertebra Productions. Bye.